Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, I wasn't going to do a video today, you know? I was actually going to take it easy today and relax because I wanted to find some good video editing software to figure out. But then I had an idea. I had the idea to talk about a series that I finished recently that I really like and I wanted to put a spotlight on because I was kind of surprised with how much I enjoyed it, to be honest. Like, I had a feeling I might like it, but I didn't think I would end up loving it this much. And as you can see on the screen and by the title, you guessed it, we're going to be talking about the case study of Vanitas today and why I think you guys should watch/read the series. So let's just get into it because I'm surprised I have so much praise for the series. Before we get into it, though, you might recognize the author of this series because they've done another very, very well known series that I'm sure a lot of you might know called Pandora Hearts. Jun Mochizuki is the author of the Case Study of Vanitas. And as I just said, she's also the author of Pandora Hearts, a very beloved series that I have not seen yet, but after watching Vanitas, I kind of want to check it out because the lady can write. Let's just say that. She's a good writer. But let's get into Vanitas a bit, you know? Let me read the plot of the series for you guys before we start talking about it, just so you guys have a general reference in case you don't know what the series is. So I'm going to be looking at my phone for a second, so don't hate me for that. Alright. During an airship ride to Paris, the vampire Noe Archivist meets Vanitas, a human claiming to be a doctor for vampires, curing them of the malnomen, which causes vampires to behave predatorily against their will. The book with which he heals, the Book of Vanitas, is connected to the original Vanitas, the Vampire of the Blue Moon, hated by the vampires of the Red Moon, who from traditional vampire society. Noe and Vanitas join forces to heal vampires, but there lurks a threat to some unknown force named Charlatan, which may be responsible for corrupting the sick vampires. And as you would expect, hold on, let me show you guys. She is also the author of Pandora Hearts, before I start getting into that a bit, just to show you guys. Very, very well-known series. Classic. Definitely have to check it out after seeing Vanitas, but as you would suggest from the synopsis, the story does revolve around Vanitas himself and Noe, who is a vampire he meets on his journey to cure other vampires. And I think the story is very good. I think the story is... it's not like super like, this is a crazy idea that's happening. No. It's I would argue a fairly average story. I just think the execution of it is done very well. I will say from June's writing that she very much knows how to do characters because the characters in this series are truly the standout point. Vanitas himself, I would argue, is an incredibly interesting main character. That he was really one of the reasons why I think I like this series so much. He kind of drew me in a way. He's a very charismatic character, I guess you could say. He has a lot of personality to him, and I really think that's one of the show's charms are its characters and their interactions. Like I've heard for years from people say Pandora Hearts that the characters in that series are just incredibly well written and very rounded out. And I think the case can be made for the Case Study of Vanitas as well. All the characters in here are phenomenal. They're truly a standout part of the show. Especially the dynamic between Vanitas and Noe themselves, you know? They kind of have like a love-hate relationship with each other, but you can tell that they're the best of friends at the same time. I just think it's very fascinating. I don't know, I wanted to make this video kind of to gush about this series a bit, because I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. But, like I said, I haven't read the manga, so my only reference to the series is from the anime. So let's talk a bit about the anime. The animation in the anime is incredibly good. They had their first season in the summer season of 2021, so it's a pretty recent anime, honestly, still. And they just had their part 2 of season 1, their second core, in the winter season of 2022. So it quite literally just ended. And the animation is really a standout point of this series. It is incredibly well animated. The series takes place in Paris in the 19th century. So I think our surroundings and our environment really plays up this series' charm a bit. Because most series, take place in like Japan or something. A lot of times in modern day or olden days. Or they're in isekai nowadays. And they take place in a fantasy world. I think the idea of us being in 19th century Paris with a vampire story is quite fascinating. Now, I don't know if other series have done this before. I'm sure they have, to be honest. But I don't know. I think that just really brings out the appeal of this series. I feel like the olden times, kind of steampunk vibes. Because as you can see right here, it's definitely a steampunk series. Which definitely enhances the appeal of it, I must say. But yeah, the animation for this series is really quite good. It's a standout. It's very standout. You look at it and you're like, oh, this is quality. This is high quality. And the anime itself is very well done. Like I said, I haven't checked out the manga yet, but I'm absolutely going to now. Like 100%, I'm going to check out the manga. So I can't tell you for certainty if the manga and anime are different. But from what I can tell, the anime is phenomenal, guys. It just finished its first season a couple weeks ago, actually. So I highly suggest you guys go out and check it out. If you guys take away anything from this video, it's that I want you to check out Vanitas. I want you to give it a shot. Because I know it was extremely popular when it was airing for the summer season, but I'd argue it was more popular in the winter season of last year. And it's a very amazing standout series that I highly recommend you guys seeing. Like, I went into it not knowing what to expect. I heard it was from the author of Pandora Hearts, so that is one reason I wanted to check it out. And I will tell you guys, it is very well written. The character dialogues and interactions, like I said previously in the video, are probably the standout. The animation is great, but I'd argue it's the characters that really drive this series forward. Man, I'm gushing about it. I didn't think I'd be gushing so much. But it's just an amazing series through and through, guys. What more can I say besides check it out? Like I said, its character interactions are the standout of it. They're very well written. Like, for instance, we have a character in the series called Jane. Like Forrest Gump, but no, like Janine. Like Jean, in a way. Jane. And her interactions with Vanitas are adorable as hell. They're incredibly adorable. And I will say, the series does a very good job of balancing the seriousness and the comedy, which is something I have noticed with a lot of Jun Mochizuki's works. I've heard the same thing from Pandora Hearts, actually, that it can be quite a serious show, but it does have its moments of levity, which I think are balanced out incredibly well in Vanitas. Because we get very serious in some parts, but we also have some parts where we can be very jokey and just a little over the top. And I think that just adds so much personality and charm to the series. It's a dark fantasy through and through, but we do have our elements of comedy, which balance out perfectly. Just overall, if I had to rate this series, I think I would give it like a 9 out of 10. I'm quite surprised with how much I liked it. I'm just gushing about it. Like, I just wanted to make this video kind of to show you guys the appeals of this series. You know, I'm doing bare bones because I'm trying not to spoil stuff for you. We're on the wiki here. I could show you clips and all that, but a lot of clips I feel like out of context would kind of spoil the show a bit. So I'm trying to be as vague as possible while also giving you guys the understanding that you should absolutely check this series out. If you take anything away from this video, check this series out. It is a phenomenal watch. And it's by Studio Bones. They are a very good studio that produce some quite high quality series. And this is absolutely no exception to that rule. But let's talk a little bit more about the plot. I would think the plot is actually incredibly interesting with this series. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the plot of the series is that Vanitas, Vanitas is his goal is to go around and to use the Book of Vanitas to cure vampires of their sickness. You see, the plot of the show is that there's someone called the Charlatan that is going around stealing vampires' real names. And if you haven't seen the series, the real name of a vampire is kind of like their soul, their essence in a way. If it gets stolen, their entire being, not just their body, their entire being, body, soul, and mind gets corrupted. And they go on a complete frenzy where they can't control themselves. And they just have to consume blood and just harm people. And Vanitas, being a traveling doctor, he goes around and he cures them with the help of Noe. And it's quite an interesting plot. The Charlatan, I think, is a very good villain. A very kind of rounded out villain, you know? Throughout the series, we get a good understanding of... Well, we get a pretty good understanding of why they do it. And what their motivations are. And we really dive into our characters' backstories quite a bit and get a good understanding of who they are. I don't know, I just think it's a very flushed out series that I really hope gets another season at some point, because it's phenomenal. If you guys haven't already guessed how I feel about it from this video. But yeah, guys, like I said, I've said it a couple times in the video, the character interactions with each other are the standout of the series, for sure. Jun absolutely knows how to write characters. And when I finished watching the show last night, because I actually watched all of part 2, all 12 episodes, in one sitting last night, because I just couldn't stop watching it. I was enjoying it that much. And what was my train of thought? I couldn't stop watching it because I enjoyed it so much last night. I watched all episodes of part 2 in one sitting. And it was just phenomenal. It was a great time. So yeah, I think that's enough of me gushing about the series, you know. If I haven't convinced you to watch it by now, I don't really know what else I could do. So absolutely go check out the Case Study of Vanitas. Go check out the manga. Go support Jun. I know I'm going to. I certainly want to. It's still an ongoing series, so you'll have to wait a bit. I'm pretty sure from when I looked it up that the anime actually caught up to where the manga is, I'm quite certain. So I'm not sure how long it'll take for us to get another season. Probably a couple years, honestly. But I know when we do, it's going to be quality. And hopefully by then, you'll all be fans like me. But yeah, I think that'll be it for today's episode, guys, you know? I kind of wanted to gush about this series. These are not the types of videos I normally do, but if you guys like series like this, like, let me know, like, if you guys like videos like this, because I could absolutely come up with these videos and just talk about series I've seen and just try to sell you guys on them in a way, you know, because I've seen a lot of series, guys. I've seen a lot of anime, and some of them I feel like don't really get talked about that much. Like, this series did just end, but I didn't see that much commotion about it. I didn't see that much talking about it, and I want to change that. You know, I want to give highlights to series that I think are really good and deserve more love than they get. So, if that interests you guys, let me know in the comments, because I'll definitely keep doing videos like this for more series. I think this is really fun. I just wanted to come and gush about this series, because I was legitimately shocked how much I enjoyed it. I think it might be one of my favorite series I've watched in like a really long time. Like, as crazy as this might sound, like, I enjoyed watching this more than I enjoyed watching the second half of Mushoku Tensei. Which is kind of crazy, because that was one of the most anticipated series of last year. But I gotta say, I enjoyed Vanitas more. So you guys let me know if you want to see videos like that. But yeah, I think that'll be it for this. Like I said, if I haven't convinced you by now, I'm not going to. But let me tell you, it's definitely your loss if you don't check out this great series. But yeah, that'll be it for now. I hope you guys have a great day, week, month, and year. And yeah, just until next time, deuces, and have a blessed day.